Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Again, it is about 12th Imam, Hadith number 909 or chapter 80, Hadith 29. The 6th Imam alayhi salam has said it will be necessary for the young boy to disappear from public sight. I then asked why it will be necessary. He said because of fear. He then pointed towards his midsection. He will be the one whose reappearance will be intensely expected. It will be he in whose being born people will have doubts. Certain people will say his mother has just conceived him. Others will say his father died but left no survival son. Certain other will say he was born 2 years before the death of his father. I asked him, what do you command me if I will live at that time? The Imam said, pray to Allah in the following words. O Lord, make me recognize you. If you do not make me recognize you, I will not recognize you. O Lord, make me recognize your Prophet. If you do not make me recognize your Prophet, I will never recognize him. O Lord, make me recognize the one who possesses your authority over the creatures. If you do not make me recognize him, I will stray away from my religion. Ahmad ibn Hilal has said, I had heard this hadith 56 years ago. There are some hadiths with miracles from Imam. I cannot, because these hadiths are very long. I will give you references and I will tell you something about this hadith, and then one can read. These are the miracles that I never heard from others. Um, so new things. This is hadith number 914, chapter 81, hadith 3. So it was from the time of Maula Ali, and there was a lady who saw Maula Ali, and then and then um, and then she followed him, and then asked somebody who is he, and they say that he is the Imam of time. Um, and then the lady asked Maula Ali, O Amirul Mominin alayhi salam, what are the signs of Imamat, leadership with divine authority? May Allah grant you blessing. She had said that, he said, bring to me that pebble. He pointed with his hand. I then got the pebble for him, and he set for me his insignia on it, so engraved on solid stone. He then said to me, O Hababa, if anyone claims to be the Imam, leader with divine authority, and can set his insignia as you just saw, then acknowledge that he is the Imam that must be obeyed. So the lady name was Hababa. And then thereafter this lady went to, she lived very long life. Then after she went to Al Hassan for the with the pebble and insignia, just like Maula Ali, and then also went to Imam Hussein, and then also um, all the Imam till he and then she went to there are parts, and then she went to fifth Imam, um, but at that time she was very old, and and um, and she said that she can count 113 years of her lifetime. And then Imam was praying, although fifth Imam was praying, Imam Sajjad, um, and but she wanted to know if is he the Imam or not. So then he pointed out with his forefinger, and my youth came back. So the fifth Imam turned that old lady um, young. Then she said, I asked, saying, my master, how much of the world is past and how much is left? He said, of how much is past, yes, I can tell, but not of how much is to come. She had said that. He then said to me, give to me what is with you. I then gave him the paper, and he printed on it his insignia for me. Thereafter, I went to Abu Jafar alayhi salam, and he printed on it. Sorry, she went to fourth Imam and then fifth Imam. Um, um, for me, then I went to Abu al Hasan Musa alayhi salam, and he printed his insignia for me. Then I went to Al Rida alayhi salam, and he printed his insignia for me. So till eighth Imam, this lady went. And according to Muhammad ibn Hisam, Hababa lived thereafter another 9 months. So she died after the eighth Imam. Um, and then there are hadiths that his children went on with such payables to imams, and they printed insignia on them. And now there is also one another miracle in hadith 916 or chapter 81, hadith 5. But this is very long hadith, and that is why I'm going to only say a few sentences about this, and I think many people know about this. There was a discussion between um, Muhammad al-Hanafiya and fourth Imam about the Imamat. Then they both went near Kaaba and said, "We will pray and we will ask the stone to say us who is a real Imam." And both of them they prayed, and the stone spoke. The narrator has said that the black stone began to shake so much that it almost came out of its place. Allah, the most majestic, the most gracious, then made it to speak in clear Arabic language and said, O Lord, Al-Wasiya and Imamat after Al-Hussein alayhi salam ibn Ali is for Ali ibn al-Hussein ibn Ali ibn Abu Talib and Ibn Fatima alayhi salam, daughter of the Messenger of Allah. Now, there is another miracle, and it is very long hadith, but I have to read all of it because it is little bit complicated. Um, so this is hadith 919 or chapter 81, hadith 8. Um, Once one of the sons of my uncle was called Al Hasan ibn Abdullah. He was Zahid, restricted himself from worldly pleasure. He was the foremost in worship. In his time, the Sultan would also observe cautions due to his assiduousness and seriousness in matter of religion. He even demanded the Sultan to respect and maintain the lawful and the unlawful rule with strictness. The Sultan exercised patience with him due to his virtuousness. It continued as such every day until one day Abu al-Hasan Musa alayhi salam went to him while he was in the mosque and called him with a hand gesture. When he came near, the Imam said, "O Abu Ali, I like your practice very much and it makes me happy. However, you do not have any understanding. You must seek understanding." He said, "May Allah keep my soul in service for your cause." "What is understanding?" He said, "Go and try to understand and learn hadith." He then asked, "From whom must I learn hadith?" The Imam said, "Learn from the scholars of law in Medina, then read them before me to check for authenticity." The narrator has said that he then went, wrote few hadiths, came back and read them before him. The Imam deleted all of them and said to him, "Go and learn how to understand." The man was very serious in his religion. He kept watching Abu al-Hasan alayhi salam until one day he went out in search of a lost property and Abu al-Hasan alayhi salam met him on the way. He said, "May Allah keep my soul in service for your cause. I will debate you before Allah unless you teach me how to have understanding." The Imam explained to him about Amir al-Mu'minin Ali alayhi salam, about what had happened after the Messenger of Allah. He also explained to him about the two men and he agreed. Then he asked, "Who was the leader with divine authority after Amirul Mu'minin alayhi salam?" He said, "Al-Hassan alayhi salam was the leader with divine authority. Then Al-Hussein alayhi salam." He mentioned Aima one after another up to his own self and remained silent. The narrator has said, the man then asked, "May Allah keep my soul in service for your cause. Who is the leader with divine authority today?" The Imam asked, "Were I to tell, would you then accept?" He said, "May Allah keep my soul in service for your cause. Yes, I would accept." He said, "I am the one, leader with divine authority." He then asked, "Is there any evidence I can use as a proof?" The, the Imam said, "Go to that tree." He pointed out with his hand to Ghailan and say to it, "Musa ibn Jafar says, 'Come to me.'" He has said, "I then went to the tree and saw it. By Allah, by Allah, cutting the earth, a real cut until it stood before him. Then he made a gesture and it returned." The narrator said, he then acknowledged his imamat. He remained silent and devoted himself in worship, and no one thereafter saw him speak. So I hope you understand what it means. Um, the man went to the tree and said that Imam is calling him, and the tree and there was a crack in earth, and the tree came to Imam, and then with Imam gesture, the tree went back. That's it, I think, for today.